We would like to appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time, for being patient to stay through.
Our friends. Gives me great pleasure to give this vote of thanks.
The SGF, Secretary to Government of the Federation, honorable ministers, the chairman of the APC youth or the leader, and of course, very distinguished youth, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press. I will speak as a politician, as a parliamentarian, and as chairman of this session. First of all, let me thank the organizers of this very important and maiden conference for inviting me to be here. And thank God that Obeni, the Honorable Minister of the Interior, provided me a way out. I talked with the chairman or the leader of the youth, APC, that I am a youth, and he questioned that in private, and he did so when he came on stage. But the various definitions of youth gives me an opportunity to be one, and I'm happy to be here also as a youth. Thank you very much. But on a very serious note, I want to commend the youth of the APC across this country. You have done so well to get this administration into office in 2015, and you repeated that in 2019. I believe that you deserve better applause. I'm going to differ with so many positions made here on how we should engage or empower our youth. Some of us feel that power is taken, not given. Maybe the youth should wait and follow a process of transition. My understanding is, if you want to teach someone how to drive, you don't keep that person at the back of the seat. You don't. You either give that person the steering and sit beside him and tell him this is the way you should turn the steering, or you control the steering, he sits beside you at the front seat so that he sees what you do. I believe that what we need to do for our youth in APC, particularly and in this country, is to get them to the table where decisions, policies, and legislations are made. Well, in the legislature last session of the National Assembly, the National Assembly passed the Not Too Young to Run bill. And I want to commend Mr. President for signing that bill into law. Today it is a law. But I believe that we need to go beyond Not Too Young to Run. The youth will run to somewhere. Somewhere desirable, a destination that will make them very productive and participate in governance that we require. Nigeria, we always say, well, we have the potentials to grow. It's one country that has all that it needs to grow, and it remains potential. Why wouldn't it be potential? Why? It is potential because we have not been able to unleash the potential of the youth to national development properly. And if we can do that, we can achieve far better outcomes and results. I want to be very political here. We have to leave a legacy when we leave. as an administration, or even as a political party? What will be our legacies? And what should we make our legacies? Some of us will voluntarily retire. Some may remain. But you know what? What will take APC to the next level, to a higher level, to a better level, is the youth of the APC. Nothing more. When our president will complete his tenure in 2023, he will disengage from government. Of course, you could still have some role to play in the party. But who are those who will continue to move with the philosophy and ideology of this party, take it around the country, get more people recruited into it, and support government? It is the youth that will do so. So, we have to empower our youth in this party. One of our colleagues in the Senate has a bill for a constitutional amendment, and the proposition is that there should be 30% of youth in the Federal Executive Council. It's not a law yet, but it could be there, and 40% in the state executive councils. This is a good idea, because if we are talking about making them more relevant, more effective, and deploy the energy and that innovative and creative ability and capacity, then you need to keep them where such decisions as for national development will be taken. Let them see how you are taking decisions, what inform the decisions and policies of any government, our government. So we need them, whether it is the 30% or the 40%, whatever it is, we have to improve on the level of engagement and empowerment for our youth. I said power is not given by opposition. When we were out of power, or before we came in, another party was in control of the country, the PDP. There was no way the PDP could have given us power à la carte, like the chief of staff to the Kogi State governor said. But the people of Nigeria mobilized, and of course the APC was hot, and that government was voted out. Power was taken. But when it is a family affair, and this is my position, power is given, not taken. When it is a family affair, imagine yourself with your children, your sons and daughters. You want them to be better than you? At one point, you say, well, you call your son or daughter and say, I'm retiring. You have to take over the running of this business, or so on and so forth. But when you say power will not be given, that family is dysfunctional.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That family is dysfunctional. So power is given and can be given. And how I wish it will be given. Well, so much of the politics, and I'm with you. I am on your side. Even though I've been disqualified by your chairman, or our chairman, but I'm still on the side of the fact that we can give power to our youth. We should enable them, prepare them, mentor them, and tell them this is the way to go. You have seen us done it, and you can do better because of the energy that you have, and of course your capacity. And these days, our youth have more capacities. What they may lack is that political clout, because no matter how well technologically based you are or digital you are, my brother, when it comes to politics, you have to learn. And I will tell you my experience. After I returned from my studies from the UK with a PhD, in 1996. In 1999, I ran for the House of Representatives for my federal constituency, Bade Jakusko, in Yobe. My first 2 outings to the campaigns were so unsuccessful. And those minders of mine thought they should talk to me. They sat me down after the first 2 outings. They said, Doctor, your PhD is not in politics. If you continue to talk like this, nobody will vote for you. So we actually need to mentor our youth, but we have to give them the opportunities to also participate in governance. I really feel that we can do better to have more youth and more women in our government, in our party positions.
More women.
More women.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I said so. Going back to the parliamentary business, when we were voted in 2099 as leaders of the National Assembly, we were conscious of something, one thing, that our government that was given to us, or mandate given to us by Nigerians in 2015, had suffered disruption, dislocation. For 4 years, 2015 to 2019, our government could not perform optimally because of the then crisis between the Parliament, the National Assembly, and the executive arm of government. So APC had already lost 4 years, 4 very important years. And that was supposed to be the years that we should have convinced Nigerians that they took the right decision by voting out a PDP administration in 2015. So what are our options? We are one party in different arms of government. Our policies are supposed to be the same. Our programs and projects are supposed to be the same. Whether you are in the legislature or the executive, so long as you are APC, that is your program, that is your project. And it's your government. You have to make it succeed. So we took the conscious decision of working in harmony. That our relationship must be characterized by consultation, coordination, and partnership and mutual respect. That we must succeed in the second tenure, 2019 to 2023. Otherwise, 2023, many would like to see our backs. If you can't provide the services expected of you in 4 years, your first 4 years, and you fail to change, to do better, why would anybody give you 8 years? So we felt we have an obligation to Nigerians who voted for us, to our people in APC, to our country, that we must work in such a fashion and manner that government is able to deliver services to Nigerians. And we have been able to achieve a lot this current tenure. The Minister of Finance had given an indication of what we achieved. Of course, the budget cycle, which we thought was one very important issue that we must address. There was no way that this administration would have implemented the 2020 budget by 100% without the cooperation between the legislative and executive arms of government, and we have been able to achieve that. And of course, many times when the people from the executive side come to talk, they will talk very much about themselves and very little about the National Assembly. Honourable Minister, thank you very much. At least you have said something. when we decided that we have to pass the budget before the end of December for the administration to start the implementation of the budget by January, it was a very ambitious decision. But we knew it was a very possible decision that could yield the kind of outcome that we desired. And I must commend Mr. President, President Muhammad Buhari, for standing on our side. Because we threatened the honorable ministers. We said if any minister or chief executive officer of any agency of government traveled out without staying back to defend the budget of his or her ministry, that minister should forget about any budget defense. Because we won't have any more time. We created a window of October only for budget defense. Outside of October, forget it. Because the National Assembly will work on the budget of your ministry or agency and take the appropriate action of passing it the way we feel it should be. And of course, the president come in to say, well, no minister will travel without defending the budget of his or her ministry, and even those who had prior permission to travel had to seek revalidation, and that made it possible for us to pass the budget 2021 and 2020 in record time, and of course the result is a very good implementation and getting Nigeria out of recession. And we did the same, back to back in 2021 budget. And by the grace of God, that will be our legacy in the 9th Assembly. We'll continue to do it that way because it's for the betterment of our country. The remaining legislative actions are things that everyone knows, but by way of a reminder, between now and July, we have set ourselves the target of passing the petrol industry bill, which we feel is a major, mega bill to be passed in Nigeria. Because the passage and assent of that bill will change the economy of this country for the better. We'll have more investments flowing into our oil and gas sector, which for the last 20 years had not seen much. Probably before the end of June, the PIB will be passed. And of course, we believe that these are the kind of things that we should do for our country. History will judge us. But our opposition will always say, this National Assembly is rubber stamp. Ask the Minister of Finance if we ever rubber stamp her budget. We never rubber stamp her budget. But of course, because we don't fight publicly, say nasty things about ourselves or call ourselves names, the opposition is not happy. Well, you have to worry for the next 2 more years. Because what is before us is to do what is right for the people of Nigeria. If we disagree with anything from the side of the executive, we will say so. But we don't have to fight publicly. But we will reject what we think is not appropriate. So, I believe that is, for now, a price tag on us. But there's a price for anything. And if someone will put a price that is just in name, but we're able to deliver, so be it. I'm sure our party is very happy with us. Nigerians are happy with us that they are getting better services today than previously. And that is our motive And that is our reasons for staying on this course. Finally, the youth of APC, anything we are doing today could have maybe the kind of outcomes that we need in this short term, or maybe long term, for those issues or programs, our projects that we are able to conclude in the short term, you have your credits. But for those projects, programs that will require a long distance running, you have to be ready to be part and parcel of running those programs and projects to see them to completion. And I want to take this opportunity to urge us leaders in this party that we must divest some level of power, some level of functionality to our youth in APC, if we want our legacies to be sustained. That is the surest way of making this party a national party that will last long in this country. And by the way, let me be a little bit controversial. You know, whether we like it or not, the truth is, President Muhammad Buhari remains the person with the bulk of the support we get across this country in APC. And when he leaves, he will still have some role, but I dare say it is after he leaves office that APC will face its challenge. Yes, we have to know our value then. And the value of APC presently is APC minus President Muhammad Buhari. Whatever it is, that is the value of APC. So we need to do a lot to build this party. And we need our youth more than ever before for them to continue with these legacies that this administration is establishing all over the country. That means we have to see ourselves as brothers and sisters, regardless of where we come from. Regardless of where we come from. And I would like to commend my friend and brother who calls me a name I don't like, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, for talking to the point that our tribe, our ethnic group, our religious persuasion should not matter when it comes to uniting this country. And as APC, the onus is on us to provide security, to provide an economic revival that will see growth and development, to give people the kind of life that is meaningful. We can ask others to join us, but we are the ones to do it. So we need all hands on deck. I want to conclude by thanking everyone who has made it here, and I've been mandated to declare this conference close to the glory of God, the Almighty. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for His Excellency, distinguished Senator, the President of the Senate, as he has delivered the closing remarks. Very much for the message of hope, sir. We appreciate you, and we pray that you work with Barrister Ismail, who is our youth leader, so that you can meet with him and bring them out of the outrage industry.
Our friend, gives me great pleasure to give this vote of thanks.